Thank you so much and welcome to this reading session. We have many questions which are asked by the students. So I'll ask them one by one and then they will rectify and then they will give a right solution to address these questions. My first question towards them is, after reading all the paragraphs, my mind becomes empty again at all the time of answering the questions. So what do you suggest for this?
I think it is one of the most important problems faced by most of the OET test takers. In order to tackle this problem effectively, one should have a thorough idea about the questions which was asked in the question, as well as another important thing which I need to mention here is about the short-term memory which is being tested in OET exam.
Okay.
So our brain is structured in such a way that in our brain we have both short-term memory as well as long-term memory. Short-term memory means the ability to understand the task and to give a particular answer for that within a short period of time. Especially in part A, we have only 15 minutes.
Okay.
So within 15 minutes, it is really a Herculean task to find out answers for 20 questions. So to develop the vocabulary as well as to increase the reading speed, a student who pursues OET can rely on certain articles.
Okay.
To increase his reading speed, he can go through some journals or magazines as well as short stories in English and so on.
In addition, you can also locate the answers with the keywords.
Okay.
Like you can, when you are going through the passage, you can locate the keywords, and if you are not getting the answers after reading all the passage, you can read the question and again you can go to the keywords which you have already located.
Well, I hope that this will be really helpful. My next important question is, it takes more time to finish reading. What can I do to increase the speed of reading?
Frankly speaking, I think reading speed is one of the most important problems faced by most of the students, especially in the beginners level. In order to give a better solution for this, what I can suggest is like when we give them the reading materials initially, we can give them some easiest materials. And when they practice it, initially we can give them 30 minutes for part A and nearly 1 hour for part B and C, so that it will help them to understand the content and they can develop certain skills to locate the answer. And eventually they will be able to improve their reading speed. And the strategy I can give here is like the vocabulary enrichment of a student. So nowadays OET reading, they are making it more and more tough. So to get better scores, it is better to study the vocabulary of the most common words which occasionally comes in the OET test.
Well, my next question is, I often lose my concentration when I read. How can I read with concentration?
Concentration is an integral factor in reading, especially when one need to find out the answers within a stipulated period of time. As we know that for reading we have only 1 hour, and within 1 hour we have to find out nearly 42 number of answers. So it is really a difficult task. So when you go for an exam and all, one candidate should never see about the person who is sitting nearby to him or her. We should always focus on our goal. We all have a particular goal to
Exactly.
achieve our level best in the exam. So in order to get that higher scores, one should maintain concentration throughout the exam. Other than that, one can practice certain breathing exercises. Breathing exercises, as well as one can do meditation or yoga and things like that.
Which are very important for the candidate.
Exactly.
Alright. Well, my next question is, I often lose my concentration when I read. How can I read with concentration?
Concentration plays an important role in reading. So when it comes to reading, a person has to be fully concentrate in that particular topic which he read. For example, when he start with part A, he need to concentrate fully only on part A. He shouldn't think like how part B and C is going to be.
Okay.
So make use of the time maximum.
Right.
Focus on one's own goal. So that is again the most important thing. Other than that, one can practice breathing exercise in between, and don't overthink about anything. So try to understand the question and keep the mind calm and quiet, and try to find out the answers properly.
Well, thank you. So, do you have any other suggestions, ma'am?
I feel that concentration is mainly related to our mindset. We don't have to be really tensed while we are at the exam hall especially.
Okay.
We have to take adequate rest prior to the day of examination, as well as you have to set your mind accordingly. As the ma'am, I mean Afina said, that you have to take the meditation as well as breathing exercise prior to the examination.
Okay, well, so my next question is, often the materials used for reading can be very difficulty. Would it be the same kind of reading material itself is going to come to the exam?
As per my knowledge, we have only limited materials with regard to OET reading.
Okay.
From the OET official website, we have only five materials. So I think most of the institutes, they have a difficult time to deal with this problem. So the thing is, like, whatever materials the students practice in the initial time, that may be for their basically meant for their skill development. So
Okay.
that's what we have given priority for. And when they reach the exam level, pre-exam, advanced batch and all, here at MedCity we give them materials which is relevant to the exam setting. So we have made so many materials based upon the exam setting, and we use such materials for our students, and we do have good results for reading.
Well, so you mean to say that in the beginning the materials will be a bit tough, and then gradually you will make it a bit easier.
Yes.
Okay, right. So what do you suggest, ma'am?
Yes, I do have the same opinion as like Ms. Afna said. In Medicity we usually give a bit difficult materials for the beginners, especially because we are focusing on the skill development of
Right.
the beginners. In the beginner level, the skill development is more important. And when we when the students move to the higher level of like pre-examination batch or examination batch, we introduce the material which is more similar to the examination.
So you mean to say that in the beginning they need to be little more familiar with this reading materials?
Yes, yes.
Okay, right. Thank you. Well, this is one of the important questions. Almost like more than 90% of the candidates ask this question. Is OET reading is more easy than IELTS?
I have both OET B grade in reading as well as 7 in reading IELTS.
Okay.
So what I can say is, like, OET reading is a little bit easier for medical professionals when compared to that of IELTS.
Okay. Will you elaborate it, please?
Okay, I will elaborate it more. So in OET reading, we basically focus on the healthcare topics, and it is a little bit easy, especially in part B, which is an expeditious reading task, as well as B and C, both are multiple choice questions. So there is a particular pattern for that. In IELTS, they have got different types of questions like true or false, yes or no, fill in the blanks, match the following. So the students may find it difficult. So from my personal experience, I can say OET reading is easier.
Okay, okay. Sangeeta ma'am, how to calculate score in reading? Is it a different score for each part, or is it collective score?
Okay. Well, it is a collective scoring system where you have to attend all the 42 questions. There is no negative mark, so that you can attend every 42 questions, and you have to get at least 30 mark out of 42 to get B score in OET. And about the calculation of the scoring of the reading, you have to divide the total number of right answers by the total questions you have, that means 42, and you can multiply it with 500.
Okay, right. So there are some questions which are asked according to the paragraphs or passages or parts. So now my first question on part A is how to score maximum in part A. Can you give some tips on this?
Yes, definitely. In part A, we have to focus on the speed because it is really important. In examination, you will only get 15 minutes to read in part A. So while practicing, you have to reduce the time to 13 or 14 minutes, and in that time limit you have to get the answers. Especially on the examination, you will be more tensed, So if you are practicing in such a way that if you can find out all the answers within 30 minutes, it will be really good. And especially in part A, you have there are certain tips, like you have to skim and scan the answers first.
Okay.
You can first you can skim through the passage, and you can locate the keywords, and then you have to go specifically into the answers after reading the questions.
Okay, so already you mentioned that to get a B grade in this reading, so you have to get a good score in part A.
Yes.
So what kind of suggestions would you like to give, madam?
I would like to add some more points to what Ma'am Sangeeta said. So the strategy is like, in order to tackle part A effectively, first a person need to skim and scan all the 4 paragraphs, and then one can go back to the questions and skim and scan all the questions from 1 to 20.
Okay.
And our eyes should move from top to bottom
Right.
of a reading text. And the strategy is like, maybe when we reach a particular question, we find it difficult to answer that. Just leave it over there and then go for the next question. Try to complete the remaining questions and then come back to the previously left out one.
Okay.
I have heard certain students told me that it is better to start from question number 8.
Yes.
8 to 20.
Yes.
Especially for part A. It depends upon each person's caliber. If a
Okay.
person already started doing questions from 8 to 20, what I can say is like, it is better to continue that way. On the other hand, if they want to start from 1 to 20, it is easy to locate the keywords.
So according to you, which is the best option, ma'am? So is it good to go from 1 to 20, or is it good to go from 8 to 20?
In my opinion, I think it is better to go from 8 to 20, because when we find out the keywords from 8 to 20, it will be easier to understand all the 4 paragraphs, and obviously we will get the answers for 1 to 7 by the time we will finish finding out the answers for 8 to 20.
Well, thank you. This is one of the appreciated answer, I would say. So my next question is very related to part B. How to manage time to do part B and C?
All right. For part B and C altogether, we get 45 minutes. So each candidate can decide from where he should start. So if a candidate feels to start from part C, they can go for that. But what I personally suggest is like, it is easy to start from part B, because
Okay.
we have only 6 questions, and each question is related to a procedure or policy or emails or memos. So each question is different. So here we should read the question first and then go to the paragraph, try to understand what is present in the paragraph, and then come back to the option. And 2 options or 1 option we can eliminate in a faster manner, and the 2 options will be like a little bit confusing. Among them, one will be a semi-relevant one and the other one will be a relevant one. Then come and try to understand the relevant answer, and try to complete B part within 8 minutes or maximum 10 minutes. Don't take more than 10 minutes to complete B part. And when it comes for C part, we have 35 minutes remaining, and here also we can skim and scan both the paragraph. Like paragraph, we have 2 passages for part C, paragraph C, first passage and the second passage, and it is better to start from that passage which a candidate finds it easy to understand the passage and questions. And in paragraph C, we have the paragraph numbers given, and the questions will be according to the passage order.
Okay.
And usually the question starts from 27 to 34 in the first passage of paragraph C, and the question numbers are from 35 to 42 for the next paragraph, I mean the passage. So here we can understand the questions, and some of the questions, they will give you the paragraph number. For instance, question number 27 and 28, both questions are from paragraph 1.
Okay.
Take 2 questions at the same time, understand it properly, come back to the paragraph, read only paragraph 1, and then try to locate the answers for both, and then we can move on to the next questions.
Okay, well, you mean to say that the 45 minutes what they have allotted is a sufficient time?
Yes.
And a person has to be little calm and cool, and then he has to go through the questions, and then he has to go through the entire passages and then understand that, and then go for the options.
No need to read the paragraph fully, but
Okay.
take different questions, like each question is related to a particular paragraph, and go according to that order. And
Okay.
one more thing which I need to add here is like, in most of the exams nowadays, they made a strategy like they won't give you the paragraph number in the paragraph.
Okay.
They will give the paragraph number only for the question.
Okay.
So here, before a candidate start doing the paragraph C questions, just put the paragraph number
Okay.
in the passage and then start doing that. Then it will be easier for them.
Okay, just to tackle this part B and C, the eliminating option is the best option, you would say.
Yes, there are two options we can eliminate easily, and the remaining two will be like confusing. As I said, for part B, we can eliminate the semi-relevant one and then can arrive at a conclusion that the remaining option is the correct answer. And in part B, usually the topic sentence, that is the first sentence present in the given paragraph or the last paragraph, will be the the key sentence which will be leading to our answer, or it can be present in the middle one also. But most of the times what question I have seen is like the first topic sentence or the last topic sentence.
Well, I have one more concern from my end. For example, if I don't get enough time, if some questions are left to read, then what should I do in that case?
Time management is a hurdle faced by majority of the candidates. So to tackle this situation, what I can suggest is like for part A, if a candidate left one question in between and there is hardly 30 minutes left. So what he can do in that situation is like he can just guess one answer and then write in the column provided in the question paper. And another one is with regard to part B and C is like there are 3 questions remaining. So the time is going to end. So a candidate can just place a single answer. For example, A or B or C or D.
So you mean to say that he has to circle only one alphabet?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
For the remaining questions.
Okay, right. Fine.
Only in case of time management. Otherwise, definitely one should understand the question and do it appropriately. So if there is time management, there's a time management problem, one can rely on this method.
Well, ma'am, in part C, there are certain vocabulary based questions. So how should I tackle those questions?
In part C, we have got certain vocabulary based questions. So I can give you a specific example for this. The question may be like this: the word exacerbation means. We have got 4 options. The options are progressing, improving, increasing and worsening.
Okay.
So obviously the answer is worsening. If a candidate knows that exacerbation is worsening means, even without reading the passage, he can select the right answer.
Well, my last question is how to read without panic, because most of the candidates always say that they feel terrified while reading.
Okay. Here in this question, I have to suggest you that don't think yourself that the reading is a difficult task, and you have to prepare yourself in your mind that reading is a bit easier for me. And you have to practice a lot for this, because reading is a skill which we have to improve through a number of practice.
Okay.
And you can also attend more mock tests.
Okay.
And you have to seriously attend that, because you can think that it is same as like the examination, and if you are preparing yourself according to that, you will be not tensed while you are attending the real exam.
Okay. Right. Thank you so much. Well, that's the end of our reading session. Ma'am, do you have any other suggestions for our candidates?
At the end of the day, what I can say is like practice makes a man perfect. So through thorough practice sections of reading, one will be able to achieve one's goal within a short while. Reading is not a rocket science, and there's a saying by Paulo Coelho that if you have a dream, the whole world will be with you to achieve that goal. So reading is one of the modules in OET. So with proper reading skill development, one will be able to achieve the goal, because reading is not only meant for reading, it is required for all the other 3 modules in OET.
What she said is right, so that you can train your brain and you can achieve the pinnacles of success. Kindly contact us if you have any queries. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, hope this video will help you guys to achieve a good score